If you have a small business, I'm going to show you in just 30 minutes how you can improve your Instagram bio so that you can attract more customers, get more leads, and ultimately make more sales in your business. First and foremost, you need to make sure that your branding is consistent across all your social media profiles, not just Instagram. You need to make it really, really easy for people to find you, and the best way to do that is making sure that your name and your profile picture both represent your brand perfectly. If you have a small business, I would recommend that you use your logo in your profile picture space. I've seen a lot of people use things like a picture of themselves from far away in bad lighting, or logos that have really small writing or that don't fit the profile picture. I would suggest just have a bit of a play on Canva or get your graphic designer to redo that so that it fits nicely. That's because people use that to make sure that they've reached the right person. They go, well, hang on, that doesn't look like that logo, or I can't tell what that says. So it makes it really hard for them to find you. There is a lot of people who have very similar names. So if you can have your branding consistent across all your social media profiles and your website, and it fits nicely, brightly, and very clearly in that profile picture spot, then people are going to find it really easy to find you. We use Canva all the time in my digital marketing business. It's so easy. All you need to do is drop your logo into that program and it will actually cut it out to be exactly the same size. Or if it's for a personal brand, say you're a consultant and you sell your services and it's all about what you do, or if you're a content creator, or if you're a photographer, you can pop your picture of yourself in there, and there is a function in there that takes out backgrounds. So you can have a picture in front of anything. You can do it as a selfie and just remove the background and put a bright color in there. It makes it really easy to find, particularly if you do it in your brand colors. The next thing you can do to make your business stand out from all the others on Instagram, the millions and millions and millions, in fact, I think there's 200 million, is make sure that your username is very, very clear about who you are or what you do. Your username should be something that's relative to your business. It can either be your name if you are your business, or if you happen to have a bakery, it could be Cakes on Broadway. Try to make it easy as possible with not 50 million underscores. Don't make it crazy spelling. Make it really easy for people who want to find your business to find you. But what we do see is a lot of people just repeat their username in their name section. This is an opportunity to say more about what your business does. Put some keywords in there that you think people will search. If you're a photographer and you're known by your name as a photographer, if I was a photographer and my handle was Nick Jameson Photos, in my actual name in the bio, this section here, I would say family portraits, weddings, parties, anything. So it really kind of explains to someone who's coming to your bio what type of photography you do, and that way your customers will very clearly understand what you have on offer. So the next way you can really boost your visibility on Instagram and attract those customers which are perfect for you is making sure your Instagram bio is primed and ready to get people to take action on whatever you want them to do. Let's dive into a little bit more about what the customer might be looking for in that bio. We always like to add a few emojis in there. It shortcuts words. So if you want to put your telephone number in there, for example, you would put a little telephone emoji. If you are a consultant and one of the things you do is audits, you could put a little computer in there. Gets the message across quickly, easily. It shows that you can have a little bit of fun with it. If your brand is not a fun and sparkly brand, I get it. Some brands are out there, they're very serious and they want to be professional and straightforward, and that's cool too. There are different ways you can split up that information just so it gives the eye a rest and shows people that they're different dot points instead of just a word salad. So you can use really simple emojis to do that, or you can have a bit of fun with your emojis too. In that first line of the bio caption, there are two things you can put there. So perhaps you only service certain locations, you have stores in 3 towns in a certain area, then maybe you would put that there. But we always like to say, what problem are you solving? So if you fix tyres, you can say replacing tyres for small to medium cars. Or you can say, I have the best ice creams, I live in Dunsborough, I'm solving the problem of no ice cream in Dunsborough. For me, it would be teaching social media. This real estate in the bio is also very searchable. If they're looking for dog groomers in Brisbane, you will come up if those words are in that section. So take advantage of that. Make sure you're using some keywords in there that you think people will use to search for you. What clearly identifies you, separates you from the pack? Is it your location? Is it the product that you offer? Is it the service that you offer? Make sure you're using those keywords. Think about if someone was looking to solve their problem, what would they put in Google, and use some of those words in that first line. One of the other things we recommend putting in your bio is putting some kind of proof in there. People love to see how long you've been in business. How many people have you helped? Do you do a training service? Have you had more than 2,000 students in your program? Do you cut the toenails of 50 dogs a week, happily serving 50,000 customers a year? That kind of information gives people a little bit of information about how long you've been around, how good you do your job, and is that social proof in a number that you can get really quickly. It's not often required, but can be really helpful for small businesses that are providing a service. People want to know, well, how long have you been around? Did you just decide to do this yesterday? Is it a side hustle? It's something that people will look for when they want to engage you or buy your services or buy your product. Another great thing you can put in your Instagram bio, which will make you a lot more findable. It'll make people participate and engage with you, and it'll also help customers really understand where your things are from. And it also gives you a little bit more social proof. Product brands and beauty brands do this really, really well. It's a hashtag that you've designed specifically for you. So for example, if you're a brand like Truffle Hill, they've got Truffle Hill hashtag in their bio so that they can find customers that have used their products and that use those photos and use those images and use that content to show other people how they can use their products. Mecca, who's a beauty brand, also does this extremely well. So they want their community and their customers to show people that they're using Mecca, number one, and number two, how they're using Mecca, so that they can also repurpose that content. But also when people are using that hashtag, it makes them incredibly findable for other customers. So having a hashtag that is very specific to your brand can be incredibly powerful in your bio, and we recommend it. Just be really careful about which ones you use. We've seen some disasters in our time. Susan Boyle, I think she was on UK, but she was launching a new album. So make sure you test it, write it all down in all lowercase and all together, because that's how it's going to be presented. And you don't want to be the next laughing stock on Instagram. And one of the most important things you need to put in your Instagram bio caption is your call to action. We see this missing on so many small business accounts. Do you want people to sign up for your next webinar? Do you want people to shop now? Do you want people to vote in your next bake-off? Whatever you want people to do, whatever action it is, and it could even be follow us for more tips. Make sure you tell people what action you want them to take, because that will kind of set in motion a thinking and a thought process within your potential customer. And also they'll know how they can move forward with a relationship with you. You can change it up as many times as you like, but just make sure there's always something there, because without a call to action, sometimes people are just like, well, what now? But you can kind of subtly start a process of thinking, a purchasing process, a connection process with your customer. And that's how you'll get them on board, warm them up as a lead. Of all the things I've mentioned, very, very important, have your call to action. So moving on from that, now it's like, where do you want them to go after they leave Instagram? So that is always having a website link in there. You might be a bricks and mortar store that doesn't have a website link, but perhaps it can be a link to an article that mentions you, or it could be a link to your email sign up, which you must have. I've said it before and I'll say it again, it is the most important thing you can do in social media, which is get those email addresses, because you are playing in someone else's backyard. Social media is owned by someone else. You don't own any of that in there. Make sure that you're getting your customers and your fans and people that want to know more about your brand onto your email list, because then they're dancing in your backyard and not in someone else's. And it's a protection mechanism which will serve you well forever and ever. Amen. I don't know about you, but I've always found that when people have a link in their bio, this actually happened the other day, and the person had written, to watch this, go to the link in our bio, and it took me to somewhere completely different. And I then had that moment where I thought I was having a brain problem because I couldn't remember why I was there. So make sure that process is in line. And if you want to send someone to multiple different things, you want to send them to your shop, to a new recipe that you've developed, a new YouTube video that you've done, and you want to have your email subscription list sign up in there as well, get a link in bio so that you can change it around, or having a landing page on your website that kind of operates the same way. 3 or 4, 5 at the most key things that they can engage with you. Don't try to offer people too much. They'll get confused and they'll leave anyway. The next really valuable real estate you can use on your Instagram profile is utilize the highlights. I see a lot of people that have 1 highlight, 2 highlights, maybe no highlights. Highlights are just stories that you've played previously that live in the top of your grid forever and ever, amen. We recommend having at least 5 because 5 is how many that fits across the screen. Again, let's not be silly. Let's keep it to a reasonable number. What kind of highlights should you use? Whatever is relevant into your industry. So if you are a florist, perhaps you have different seasonal flowers. So you would have autumn, winter, summer, spring, special occasion. If you're a cake maker, maybe you have birthday cakes, celebration cakes, wedding cakes, that sort of thing. One thing I will say about highlights reel, and this goes for your stories as well, quite frankly. No one wants to go into a highlight reel and see 50 highlights in that one section. Do not make it a feature-length movie that someone needs wee break and a snack. Let's be really considered and make sure that what we're putting in there is our best work. The highlight reel that we've selected really represents autumn or really represents how to wear suede skirts. The last thing that you can do to make sure that your Instagram bio is optimized for sales is to have your shop linked. It just enables you to sell right there in the app. I bought a chili sauce the other day because I saw it in my feed as a sponsored post. I saw they had a shop, purchased the product, all without leaving Instagram. So if you have things that you can sell online, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical product, it can be you're selling time or you're selling digital products. You can do bookings through Timely, or you can have a shop if it's physical products. There used to be a little bit of fear and worry. People are now really confident that shopping in that space is A, safe, B, easy, C, convenient. But if you're a bit worried that you want to do it right, definitely get a professional in and make sure you're not missing out on all those sales that are happening in Instagram because it is just going straight up. So making sure that your business is fully positioned well on Instagram by just spending 30 minutes updating and pimping your Instagram bio. I run a social media marketing agency and we run the social media of hundreds of brands and have done it in almost every industry I can possibly think about. So if you have any questions about how you can lift your business's profile, please hit me up in the questions below and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. So you don't want to look at that because it's anal bum party. Suze anal bum party, just written all in one word. It's not great.